Hello guys, another day, another video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today is Monday and this is the third video of mine talking to myself. It's actually the fourth day, but yesterday I didn't record video because I didn't have time to record a video because yesterday I went to my sister's house, so I can't make a video. And today is now it's 11 a.m. Now I'm gonna talk about the lessons that I learned about the design of health research. I actually write it on Indonesian, but in this video I'm gonna explain this about in English, so I can review my lesson and I can also improve my speaking. Yeah, so this is in Indonesia, and I'm gonna talk for you. I'm gonna explain for you in English. So the title is about design of health research. So in health research, we have three designs. Commonly, it contains quantitative, mixed method, and qualitative. And for this lesson, I just learned about the quantitative one. So the quantitative design has two types, which are non-experimental and experimental. And for so we're gonna talk about non-experimental first. Non-experimental design, or we can say it observational design, is also divided into two types, which are descriptive and analytic. So here, descriptive and analytic. So in this descriptive, it also divided into two types. It contains case report and case series. In this type of research, it just describe the case. It just describes the case that we learned. And then for the next type of non-experimental is analytic. In this analytic, or we can say it comparative, it's divided into two. It's cohort and case control. For cohort, for the first of the research, we decide the person first, and then we observe the respondent for some time series, maybe about a month, a year, or maybe a decade, and we follow them for some times, and then we see the what will happen when we follow them on that time. So, and in this design, we also see the risk factor. Yeah, you can see the risk factor. And then for the next one, for analytic design, it has case control. This is the antonym of cohort. For cohort, we see the future. So in this design, case control, we see the past experience. For me, it's about nutrition. Maybe we can see the nutrition history about the respondent. So in this design, we decide the respondent first with maybe with some health issue, and then we see the past experience of this respondent. Is it yeah. And then another one type of non-experimental is cross-sectional. So this cross-sectional cross-sectional is about the correlative. It's about the relationships. Yeah, it can be descriptive, but it can be also analytic. So yeah, it's complicated, but it's not. We just did the measurement of this design once. Okay. For the experimental one, next for the experimental, we have it has four types. The first one is pra-experimental. It contains of one group pre-test and post-test design, and also static group. And then the next one is quasi-experiment. In quasi-experiment, it's usually have two groups on the research, and this design is also usually uses in community nutrition research. So yeah, and then for quasi-experiment, we have two types. It also has two types, which are time series design and non-equivalent control group design. I don't know the specific difference about these two types, but in my note I write about so in these two types they didn't do the randomize for the design, but in time series design we did the pre-test 4 times to check the stability, the consistency of the answer. So after that pre-test, we did the treatment, and it also usually in one group. And then for the next type of experimental design is true experiment. True experiment is the true experiment. I mean, it usually uses on laboratorium. So maybe it's really true. How to say it? Murni, yeah. And then for the last part, for the fourth type is factorial design. Actually, this design is same like true experimental, but in true experimental we just learned about one thing, but for this design it's same, but we also analyze the another variable. Yeah, and then that's all. But we also have the measurement of association. I don't know how what it is about. I just write it on my note because it one of my lesson. So for the measurement of association, we have two types, which are relative and absolute. For relative, we have We have three types. The first one is relative race. Relative race is for cohort design, which are contain race ratio and rate ratio, or we can say it RR. And then for the next one is odds ratio. Odds ratio is for case control design, or we can say it OR. And then for the next one is prevalence ratio, or it's for cross-sectional design, or PR. And then for the absolute one, it has race difference for cohort design, or we can say it RD. So that's all. This is my lesson for comprehension test. Is it right? The English of UKOM. I got this lesson from YouTube and from Google. I search it and I make the summary of the lesson on my notebook. This is the way I learned. Maybe you can try my tips, but this is just one of my lesson. I have many lessons to do, but yeah, maybe I'm gonna talk about next lesson for the next video if I don't have anything to say. If I don't have anything to discuss, I'm gonna talk about my lesson. I hope you guys want to see it. So it's already 12 minutes. I think I'm gonna stop this video. It's over. So, 안녕.